Wanderers!
We go.
Welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen podcast, Season 2, Episode 25. Before we get into it, please follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube. Everything you do helps us. This week's episode is brought to you by our friends at Velpen Trucking and Disposal.
Our title sponsor is Velpen Trucking and Disposal. It's that time of year, folks. Time to spring clean. You can take the time and have the hassle of bagging everything up, throwing it in your vehicle, and dumping it in the dumpster. Or you can call our friends at Velpen Disposal and get a roll-off dumpster in any size that you need. They have dumpsters in all sizes. Big spring cleaning projects need big dumpsters. Velpen will drop the dumpster off. You call when you are done, and they will haul it away. Hassle-free, and you can do it on your own time. Don't be silly and think you have all the time. Call Velpen today.
The Wondering Dutchmen podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in this great place called Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchmen podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wandering Dutchman. Yeah. The Wandering Dutchman. Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Sitting across from me with the mustache, black kind of Unabomber over jacket with the tie-dye underneath, our friend, our colleague, back on the path in the city of Huntingburg, keeping them streets clean, together, and safe.
Just like Batman.
Our buddy,
Fat Man.
Big Mase.
Batman.
Also known as Zachary.
Yo.
As Zachary sitting in the middle,
Stay out of Huntingburg.
rocking the turquoise with the plaid with the very glistened forehead right now.
It's a little toasty at this end.
And it's chilly. But seeing the world through his rose-colored glasses is our buddy David Allen Smoker. And I'm Casey.
Esquire.
Hey, are the phones all? Are we ready to go?
Yeah, I hope. We're counting down.
Oh my God.
You got him up. Now couch guys, walk guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Couch Guy just hangs around here, drinks beer, and eats glizzies.
He needs to earn his keep. I just asked him to see if they were all recording.
Yeah,
And we're good.
Now remember, everybody, watch your noggins exiting and entering your chairs because we've got low-hanging phones.
This is very true.
That really screwed the pooch in one of the episodes
And
last week because we never did a single camera change.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. So, anyways, before we jump into this, though, let's hear from our friend and sponsor of this next segment, Mr. Matthew Krieg.
This segment is brought to you by our buddy, Matt Krieg of Krieg Insurance. Matt is all about finding you the right coverage for you, your family, your business, and your budget. Matt scours all companies, local and national, to find you the best fit for your needs and budget. Give Matt a call today and see what he can do for you. We only recommend the best, and Matt is the best.
Put her there, brother.
Real model.
Hey, he's a good boy.
Real
That boy.
model American.
Real good boy.
As we introduced last week, Dave, a little bit of format of the show. I think we've heard some good things.
Haven't heard many bad things.
Haven't
out
heard
of the
many bad
ordinary.
things. Still here, we're fat. We get it. That's not going to change.
Hey, easy, bud. 5 years.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, there we go. We just might as well get it out of the way. But here on today's episode, which is airing on April 10th, we're going to go through our three wonders. Not all three just in general, but when you put all of our powers combined,
Yeah.
it comes out to three. Basic math
It's like
there.
the magic number.
Yeah,
Planet.
it is. Big Mase, what have you been wondering about?
Well, do we not do intros in this one?
Well, I mean,
We don't really do intros in this.
We can
show.
do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we can.
Talk about it.
Well,
Talk about it.
I'll just intro it. So this baseball weather is not. This weather that we've been having has not been well for baseball.
Well, I feel like it's the weather we have most starts of baseball season.
Yeah,
like
but
chilly, rainy, miserable. Like
yeah,
why do
this
we got
one might
kids
be
out
extra
here?
rough. You know?
Monday was nice.
Yeah,
The Monday the first.
Yeah.
Was it the first? Yeah.
yeah. That was my first day back at work. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tuesday and Wednesday and today have been shit.
Absolute turd burger of a day.
Yeah. So, like, I think yesterday, anyway, our baseball, luckily, we've got some inside connections,
Mm-hmm.
inside baseball,
Mm-hmm.
where we've been able to get some work done indoors.
Better than outdoors when the weather's.
Yeah, for sure. And my wife was off today, and she was in charge of running the children. So I met her at
Were
Morph.
you off too?
No,
She
I
got
met
off on her own, huh?
I met her at good grief. She does most of the time, I guess. Well, yeah. Anyway, I met her at More for Less, picked up Eleanor, and then we were off to the races on our way home. And the warden was waiting for track practice to get done, and she was going to take your boy and my boy to baseball. And I was explaining to her how to get there. And that brought me to my thing of landmark directions. Do you know people that are absolutely terrible with landmark directions? Because my wife could be the worst.
So does she know then? Most folks that are bad with landmark directions are very much northeast, southwest oriented. Is she very directionally?
No.
Oh, so she's just.
Now, when I say landmark directions, I'm not necessarily talking about the compass rose. I'm talking about like in this opportunity, like in this specific
Well, like
situation.
turn down there by the garage is kind of falling over to the left where old man such and such's dog died that time.
That's 100%
landmark.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I told her today, I was explaining to her how to get to this facility,
Mm-hmm.
which is less than a block or two from her where she lived as a child for a while.
Did you explain it as such?
100%. I said, you come out of the driveway, go 1 block, hang a right, go 2 blocks, and it's right behind the VFW parking lot. And she said, nothing that you're telling me is helping at all. And I said, you have to be the most unobservant person while riding in the vehicle of like where you are, as far as
I
like,
believe it's unaware.
no, I'm
She's
talking
probably
about,
observant, but just not of what.
well, I'm just
where
saying,
she
like,
is.
if I had to call back to a, okay, here you go. I know you've only been there one time, but if I said, hey, as soon as we come across the bridge, at that shithole that we go to in Florida, as soon as you come across the bridge, take a ride at the lighthouse, go up to the church, and Weber's Donuts is right behind it. It's right there on the left. You would 100% know where I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yes. And we've been there, and you've been to that place how many times?
twice.
Exactly. You've been there once, and you
I've
could
not been to the donut place, but
But-
I know the lighthouse and turn right.
yeah,
in a
like
block.
you could probably make it. You could make it there. Now, granted, that's a very small island, and there's not very many roads on it. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if she doesn't have an address, or not just, I shouldn't.
If she doesn't
don't-
have a what now?
An address. Like if
Oh.
you don't tell her, like, hey, you need to turn on 3rd Street and go down past 4th, or right before you get to 4th, and it's the 13th house on the left, or something super specific, as opposed to like around here. I feel like landmark directions are huge, and we use them a lot, even in the city, like for work. You know what I mean? Like we'll say like it's up there by so and so's house, or 3 blocks down from whatever. Like we don't usually deal in physical addresses unless it's in a area that we're not like
we don't know who lives there. You know what I mean? Like if it's up on the northeast, we know we go up, Shelby Street and then hang a left on 10th, and it's right down there on Williams on the curve.
So does everybody at the street department, are they all from Huntingburg?
No.
Like long timers?
No.
Then how would they know?
Well, no. Yeah, I should say that. Yes, they are. Yes.
But they know. I think the problem
But
of
it
is-
doesn't take very long.
But most of our female companions are probably what the term would be considered passenger princesses,
Oh, yeah.
which means they don't care what it takes to get there, as long as you get there.
Now, I would disagree with that fully, because my wife tells me exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it when I'm driving. Does yours not do that?
No,
Is that not normal?
mine just gets in the car and
She
That's
gets
why.
on me about how I drive because
Oh,
she
man.
complains that I'm an old man because I do a lot of rubbernecking, so I drive slow.
Yeah.
I'm not a speeder when my family's in the car. Now, when they're not in the car, I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
heavy-footed.
My parents got to witness that full force.
Well, I had a prairie dog poking out there, and I got turned around at that wreck. And, I had to turn it around, and that put 4 extra miles.
Did you
between
hear
me
that
and the
story
commode.
when Mom and Dad are just out here moseying down the gravel road here by the Collie Farm, and David hit that last hill doing about mock Jesus, and I mean he's
Middle of
flat,
the road.
he's flat modogging down the gravel. And my dad, goddamn smoker! I'm on the phone with my parents, and it's over the car speaker because they knew about the wreck and were kind of dodging that too, or for some reason they were going down that way, but.
yeah.
But Dad's like, son of a bitch, David, slow that son of a bitch down. You know what I mean?
Well, I had a new set of Duluth undies on. and I didn't
Yeah,
wanna
heaven
go,
forbid you soil them. But I don't know. Like we had a situation today where I was trying to explain to her how to get to this facility, and I guess I wasn't using, I told her it was between this street and this street, halfway between the block, right behind the VF parking lot is what I told her. And she said, nothing that you're telling me is helping me. And I'm like, you are the worst person to try to explain to how to get to somewhere without a physical address.
Now, see, that doesn't sound too bad, but my theory on landmark driving is it really depends on how familiar the person is with the place. Because you, as the guide,
Yeah.
are super familiar with things that are landmarks to you.
Yes.
So, okay, you're going to drive down the road. You're going to head south there, out of town, until you get to the brick house with the green shutters. Yeah, just hang a right there. But there may be 2 corners with brick houses with green shutters, but you're just thinking of one specifically.
Yeah.
But
On
it
the
sounds
road.
like yours were pretty
Locked in.
straightforward.
Now, have you ever seen the person that said, where the barn burned down? Go down there, take a
Now,
left.
Dwayne Smoker, that's how he would.
Yeah.
you know.
Where the barn burnt down, and then that old tree stump that was there, but they ground it out a couple weeks ago or a month ago. And then you take a left down there by Karen's house, head up the hill there to Sue Jim's, and then it should be right there.
I remember we met a fella from Elias and Feed or somewhere. He was selling grandpa seed. But we were on Lead Line Road on this particular little plot of land that grandpa was trying to get planted. And we were waiting, and old man Elias just never showed up. We're like, what the hell? And he finally gets there. And grandpa's like, well, I thought we said, 1:30. He's like, well, golly, I've been driving around all day. He's like, when did they take the lead? It was called Lead Line because there was an old lead line up way back before I was ever born.
Right.
Grandpa said, well, that's been gone 30 years. Just look for the sign that says Lead Line. But I guess he drove back and forth, never once checked the sign. Just
I get it. I'll get it with Papa Frank who'd be cruising through town, and I'll be like, yeah, hang a ride up there at old Mrs. So-and-so's home.
Yes.
And I'm like, who in the hell's old Mrs. So-and-so?
Yes.
And it just, it's crazy. Like
So
it's funny how it
we
happens.
run into
though.
that with the older gentlemen that work on the street department, or like the retired, the guys that did work there, or the older people that live in the that work for the city, and they'll say, you go up there by, such and such's house that's literally been dead for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, Dudley, they've been dead almost more than I've been alive.
Oh,
like,
no,
I don't,
that was just a few years
no,
ago.
It's like, no, Dudley, that's been 37
Yeah.
years ago they passed away.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I meant. And I said, no, I really didn't, bud. No, nope, sure didn't. No freaking clue what you're talking about.
Well, that's like the house across from City Hall, the old Stark house.
Yeah.
There, you know, that has that little, I think, is it the Stark house?
Iron Man.
That's the one right there, isn't it? Right across from City Hall. That was old Doc Stark's place, wasn't it?
You mean Stork?
Stork
Memorial.
Oh,
yeah,
not Iron
the
Man.
where the old
What was that again?
It has a world class air dicker on the corner of 4th and Van Buren. Is that what you're talking about there?
You know, where they give the hand jobs.
Not across the street where.
There's one that's across the street that was an old doctor's office.
Oh, see, now I don't know what that is.
Because that was
might
that
have been
little
Stark.
building. That was that little building that used to be the office.
Okay.
Maybe he was the dent. I don't know.
Anyway, see there
We'd have to
again.
call Pop Frank.
Yeah,
He'd
no
know.
clue. Yeah, he would
he'd
for
know.
sure.
He'd know.
But they talk about, like, Dad always used to talk about buying stuff at Frick's hardware store.
Yeah.
And it's like all these stores that used to be on 4th Street that have been gone longer than we've been alive,
Yeah.
but they still reference them.
Why'd they got 4th Street all blocked with them barricades today?
Yeah, we put them up today for the solar stroll.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a fancy blockade. Like it's
we put those up,
highfalutin.
and they're a real bitch to put up.
so we got like post holes in the road
Yeah,
that we
there's
just
sl-
uncapped.
They're sleeves that were put in the concrete when they constructed that.
Really? I never noticed them.
monstrosity. And then they have caps that go over them, and then we pluck the caps and drop these 685-pound posts in
Yeah.
there, and then bolt.
The sleeves have been there since they bricked the road.
Yeah,
Yes.
Really, I never noticed.
They went in
those.
with original construction.
yeah, and then that
685 pounds. For
I
one
made
of them?
that up, but they're heavy as shit.
Oh.
They're super heavy. Yeah, and they drop
I was going to
straight
say,
in.
why
and,
would you have to bolt that? I guess
and they, well, the
somebody could steal it.
the gate is separate from the posts. The posts go in the sleeves, and then the gate, we got to monkey them in there, and then they bolt to the post. That way, if something were to happen, it's not one big piece, you know. So-
Yeah.
So a person
Fire
could
trucks,
frantically rip it out of the
we-
ground by
we-
themselves.
Oh God, I would hate to see what would happen if a
The
car would.
hernia bill.
Well, yeah, and that's what we had to get.
God,
So
that'd
the-
have been a real bitch if you got a hernia the first week back.
Right.
I'd miss more work.
Well, I wouldn't have. I'd probably be fired because I have no time to.
They can't fire you for getting injured, especially if you're doing what you was told to do.
Especially
Workman's
at work.
comp. You're right. I mean, that's a different story.
You know, you'd be up there open letters to people at City Hall.
You can't do that anymore because I wanted to do that to go back. I'd stuff utility bills or do whatever, but that's not my job title. Can't do it.
That's wild.
Anyway, but
World
those
class air dicker.
those sleeves they get filled with grit, and it's just a real bitch to get them things in and out.
Probably about like the bases at the ball diamond, I think.
Yeah, I'd imagine the plugs in there. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So that's closed off for the solar stroll.
I guess I forget that that's just Monday now.
Yeah, it's we're the only department in the city working. By the way, just in case you wanted to know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, because I mean, you never know when shit's gonna pop off on the street.
They kind of trade your shovels in for AKs in case
Well,
you got...
no. Like, traffic. We got to flag traffic and things like that.
Well, what the hell are the cops for?
Well, they're going to be on the cop, and they got a cop. They got to do the copping. We got to do.
I
the
thought
traffic.
that's who did traffic.
Well, they got to take care of all the speeders and the drugs and all that other stuff because there's going to be a lot of hippies in town. They say.
Oh.
Yeah,
I think it'll be interesting to see.
yeah. It either will be a absolute shit show or it'll just be another day at the office.
We're set to play that night too.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Holy bull! Where at?
Hair to chills.
Oh, okay.
So,
So you'll get to fight that Lincoln traffic going down there.
yeah, not
Which,
that-
by the way, we looked it up, and you can still get a campsite at Lincoln if you wanted it. Like, it's not full.
I don't think.
Lots of trees there. Wouldn't be the best place. Is it supposed to be cloudy?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to laugh my ass off. All them SOBs come in here and you can't see a damn thing.
Well, it's gonna get
I don't-
dark.
I don't think that.
It's going to get dark. It's,
think
it's mostly
gets dark at
partly
night.
cloudy or mostly cloudy or whatever. Like you're probably not going to be able to actually see the ball of gold.
The ring of fire.
Yeah, you're not probably. That's what they say. That worst case scenario, you don't see that, but it's going to get like dreary, and then it's going to get dark, and then it's going to go back to being dreary.
Yeah.
Is what they're calling. It's what they're
so
calling.
when this
that
airs
is-
Wednesday and all of it's happened, I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be. I think that they set up north of us. It's going to be a little bit cloudier and actually fairly clear down here. So they think some of that Bloomington traffic may move south
That's
a
where
little
the
bit.
hippies are coming from.
Yeah.
Well, and then Evansville. Some of them may just stay on 69 and head down to Evansville. So we shall see.
Anyway, I don't know. I was just thinking about that today. What you got?
Well, got something real exciting
It's
here.
a good one.
How do you handle wrong number situations? And here's why I'm asking this. So this past week at work, we had a situation where, if you can imagine, my employer provides us with cell phones, work phones. So I'm a 2-phone guy.
I got 2 phones. You heard that song by Kevin Gates?
No.
Good.
So we're 2 phones. And if you can imagine
I
trying
like
to
the
get
song hard for. But
about no
cell phones for a company, you recycle numbers quite quickly. And so, although I've had this
Hey,
number,
Jim, it's me, Shooter.
this is exactly how it plays
Just
out.
landed.
So so I've had this number. It'll be 4 years in June. But the other person that used to have it, I mean, I'd get calls from Medicaid office.
Oh boy.
I would get calls from
I actually got an address change for that check you're about to send.
and I'd get calls from like pediatric dentist and all this other stuff. So the message this past week, so when we're recording this is the 4th of April. We had a little bit of a storm roll through. What was that, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Roll through
Road
Tuesday,
strangler.
brought us a cold front. And I'm going to change the names to protect the innocent. But this person texted this number and said, "Hey, does Sally need to get on bus 1?" And I replied back, "Wrong number." And then this person followed
Well,
up.
which bus is it?
This person followed back with, "Well, who is this?"
Oh no.
And I said, "Somebody that doesn't know who the hell Sally is, and somebody that doesn't know what bus Sally needs to be on." The response, "You're an asshole." and I just replied back, "Okay." And then
You're a shitty mom.
well, but I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I kind of wanted to pick up the phone and call a person and say, "F you, I don't have to tell you who I am. I told you wrong number. You're the one that asked who it is. I'm not obligated to give you any of my information." But that was the interaction. So
name and badge number, please.
yeah. So I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I've handled some of these where I'm like, "Hey, wrong number." And they're like, "Oh, hey, no big deal." Like, like people are cool about it. Like, "Oh, shoot, I'm so sorry." And then you get some people that,
They're just pricks.
yeah, just pricks about it. And I guess my response, I could have softened it with, "Hey, sorry."
Maybe I could have been a little nicer.
Well, but I'm not going to give that
Somebody
person,
that doesn't know Sally
Could have
or
said,
gives
no,
two
no,
shits
no, it's
about her.
supposed to be 13.
Oh God.
And Sally would have ended up in New Hampshire.
well, and that's what I didn't want to have happen. But I thought, why would you ask somebody if you've sent it to the wrong number and this person has told you, "Hey, wrong number"? Why do you follow up with anything else other than, "Hey, okay, sorry"?
Yeah, God bless. Have a great day.
Yeah, anything other than, "Well, what's your name?" I don't have to tell you my name.
Yeah.
I
What's
don't
it
have to tell you
matter?
shit.
Yeah. So I have had full-blown conversations with wrong number people before.
Via text or voice call?
Voice.
Yeah,
voice.
yeah, I like the voice
messages.
ones.
Text messages are always like if I get a text from a number that I don't know who they are, I'll always text back, "Who is this?" Like every single time. Because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't, if it's a question that could potentially, is meaningful to me, like if it's saying, "What size shoe do you wear?" Or, you know what I mean? Or that's a terrible example, but just something.
Grandma's in the hospital.
Yeah. Or something like that, and I don't have the number. Who is this? And then we'll see if they text back, and then they'll say, "Well, then who is this?" And then I'm done. You know what I mean? Like if they don't shoot back with who they are immediately, I'm out. Now, on the voice end of it, they would always say, is this so-and-so or whatever? And I'm like, "No, unfortunately, I think you have the wrong number." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, what number is this?" And then I'll say, "Well, this is ding, 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 ding." and they're like, well, shit, I meant to say 1944 instead of 41 or whatever. You know what I mean?
normally ask, well, what were you trying to get a hold of?
Yeah.
Like, 3707. Oh, well, there it is. It's 3797.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and then like you have, well, good luck, buddy. No sweat. Have a great day or whatever. And they're like, hey, you too. Like I try to be as decent as I can.
I like talking to strangers. As much as I don't like
That's
people on the phone.
That's 100% lie.
Like on the phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Like sometimes I'll get a kick out of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, who I don't talk to anymore on the phone, and I've been hanging up on them for the last 10 years, is when you get those surveys this time of year? Hey,
Yes,
this is
sir.
such and such with the National Voter Registration Survey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to answer that real honest. And it was shortly after that they did that whole froze my retirement accounts the Department of Homeland Security did.
Oh, yeah.
And that freaked me out. So
well, I
don't
answer
those anymore.
I got a text message from Uncle Donnie today, by the way.
Yeah, I've been getting those, and I keep replying, stop. Uncle Donnie and then his kids and his kids. And
Man, I must have deleted it. Or it's not on here. Maybe it didn't sync. But yeah, I got one from Donald Trump today, I think is
What do you want you to do?
well, just
vote for him.
vote for him for sure. But then he wanted me to fill out a big survey, and then I did. I filled the survey out, and then I got to the end of it, and they're like, "How much money would you like to contribute to the campaign?" And I'm like, "Yep, swipe up and close. We're done." Because that son of a bitch he's got enough money to build 3 walls. He don't need no
the
money
problem
from
is
me.
he's not allowed to use his own money.
Well, to build the wall,
No, for his campaign stuff.
right. Why?
You can use your own
You
money
can fund your own
Can
camp.
you?
Well,
He's
yeah.
always asking for money.
because they don't want to spend their own money.
Yeah.
That's how you keep having money. That's why the rich get richer. They don't
A
spend.
friend of mine that was in a recent political race, he paid for like all of his own shit.
I guess I thought you had to have a funded.
No, how they get around it
Because
is
that one time when I was looking to run for president, I thought that's what would hang me up is I didn't know how to fund it because I didn't think I could do it myself.
Put a good vote in for David Allen Smoker. Let me be your next president, brother.
brother. Put it there, brother.
I think I'd make a fine president.
Hi, I do too, brother. What platform would you run on?
I'm a libertarian.
Yeah, I figured that. Liberal.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We don't do that. We do not do that.
Oh shoot!
So no, I now what about the spammers? You ever toy around with them?
Not as much anymore because I'm so damn busy.
Boy, I'm good at it.
I get
Especially if they call during lunch. I'll put that sumbitch on speaker and then I'll look at everybody. I'm like, shut up. Just be quiet. Shut up. And then I'll go through the prompts and it'll be like, now this is an accent that I'm going to recreate in 100%
Oh boy!
disclaimer. Like we're not, how do I approach this?
Just throw it out there.
But like, hello, thank you for calling USA Today. My name is Kevin. And I'm like, bullshit, your name's not Kevin. And then they'll be like, it says here that you're able to qualify for cheaper insurance rate, and I'm like, okay. And then they're like, the only thing we need is to verify your credit card number or whatever. And then I'll give them some bogus ass credit and because it was like the debt consolidation one, not the insurance, but they're like, how much credit card debt do you have? And I'm always like, at least 200,000 probably on one. And then I got a black card that's probably got about 300K on it. And they're like, well, we can make a good deal for you today to try to consolidate and make one easy payment. You know what I mean? And then I'll go in there and really string them along for a while. And then it'll come to the end where I'm like, hey, I don't even have a credit card. Eat shit. Don't ever call me again. And then they're like, you your mother. And they just hammer me, go back on it. And everybody's like in the room, because I've been told to F myself or several other expletives by
that's the one that he censored.
Yeah, right. But like all those, like the people, like they're scammers. You know what I mean? And it's fun to.
I get a kick out of
catch 'em.
those TikToks where they're
There's
like,
a dude. Yes.
Why would you push that button?
Yes. There's a guy on TikTok that I've been seeing a lot on my For You page lately that like he literally does a TikTok live from like normal business hours, and he's got a studio
But
office.
he scams them. Like I believe he takes their.
Well, I don't know what he does, but he is literally doing nothing but fielding their calls. And like he writes down the robocall numbers and tries to get back at them. And then like oh gosh, it's good. Like it's real good.
I've not seen that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, like he pretends to be some old lady, so the guy's like walking her through the
That's it.
computer, like how to
That's exactly
minimize
right.
the screen.
Now watch
left
it.
button, the right button. Okay, left click. No, you stupid woman! Why would you do that? I did not say to do that.
Yeah, she's like, now my screen doesn't look like what you're saying it should look like, and stuff like. Oh, God bless, it's hilarious.
I don't. This probably will come as no surprise, but if I don't have your number saved in my phone,
Right.
I'm not answering it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like you don't answer it sometimes, and I think my number is saved.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel that. I actually asked that to Dave the other day. I was like, "Man, wonder why you don't ever respond or answer when I call." He's like, "Well, maybe you don't want to talk to you." I'm like, "Well, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want to talk."
Well,
to me,
but because there's probably some people that are watching this that wondered like, "Hey, you owe me I owe you a phone call." Let me just explain. I don't like being on the phone very much anymore.
exactly.
Comes from my previous life,
Yep.
where I spent
Yep.
a lot of time on the phone,
Yep.
making phone calls,
The warden hates talking on the phone as well.
and so
I love it.
and a lot of
I
it,
don't even like ordering a pizza.
I ordered it online.
Yeah,
Online ordering. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where I don't intend to do it. But when I look through my day, I have very little time where I get to do just what I want to do.
Right.
And in the mornings, I usually don't like to talk on the phone unless I have to. Although, I mean, certain subjects I'll discuss, but I don't know. And then I get busy, I see it, and then I'm like, oh, I need to call this person back. And then when I think about it, it's 10 o'clock at night when I'm finally sitting there doing it. But
Don't call me back then.
I don't call you back anyway.
I know. That's what I mean.
I just figure if it's important enough,
That's what I gotta say.
it'll either resolve itself or
Right. Yeah, I don't know. The robocallers that sometimes show up. You ever have you ever got a robocall from somebody that you do know? And then when you answer them, it's like you answer it, like it'll show up actually in your their number's in your caller ID.
Nope.
no.
Oh,
I've never had that.
I have for sure. Yeah.
Like somebody that's doing a side hustle.
No, like a scammer. Like a scammer will use. Do you know what I mean? You know what a robocaller is, right?
Yes.
Right. So it shows up as someone in your contacts, and you answer the phone like, "Hey, what's up, shit dick?" Or whatever, and it's like, "Hi, this is Carrie." You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn it,
Got ya.
can you hear me? You know what I mean? Like all those preloaded things. But
That's a tough spot.
anyway,
Smoke Dragon, what do you got?
All right. So I thought I had this brilliant idea the other day, and somebody at work got to Googling it and said that I was way off base. But this kicked off like, man, I tell you what, I'd like to have more life insurance. I've talked to old buddy Krieg about it, just to be able to leave the kids something. But then I got thinking, why spend all that money now? What I ought to do is just offer to them once they're out of school, hey, buddy, if you'd like to take a life insurance policy out on me and pay for it your damn self, I'm more than happy to do that. I mean, I'm surely going to die someday. And then that way, if you feel like I die and you're going to need, you can afford to get $1 million out of me because I keel over, cool. Otherwise, you'll just get a third of whatever I got left, which might not be, who knows? Who knows what kind of shit I'll get into.
we're gonna go to San Juan Toneo?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
down there by the rock, or, you'll find directions by the rock.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so I got thinking about this, and then I was like, I got thinking about how these big companies, they'll take life insurance policies out on like a CEO or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, shit, if you can just take a life insurance policy out, surely a fella could just do like Social Security number roulette. Just pick, what is it, 7 numbers? 3, 4, 5, yeah. 7 number, 8
8 numbers.
8 numbers.
No.
And just Nine.
4,
3,
6,
4, 5,
9.
6,
9
7,
numbers.
8, 9.
So just pick 9 numbers. Get a hold of old buddy Krieg and say, hey, Krieg, I need to take a life insurance policy out. Just a modest one, $10,000, and give him 9 numbers. And you just wait.
Well, but I think on those
Doesn't work
forms
that way.
But it should.
okay.
Then my problem is how can they, it doesn't cost the person anything.
Understandable, but you have to know some information about them. Like you got to be like life insurance.
Apparently,
You got to
Google,
know.
you got to be able to prove that their death can somehow affect you financially.
Oh,
like
I was
their
just
lack-
saying to set the policy up. You would
And you
have,
got to have their permission.
they would have height, weight.
Yeah, you have to do a medical exam.
All that
on
medical
age
exam.
and coverage. Like if it's just a $5,000 policy, you might be able to get by some of that. But that got
I think
me
there's
thinking,
actually an amount that you can be under and not have to get a medical exam.
that's what I mean. Like if it's like, I think it's like 50 grand or 20 grand, but like you just said, I want like a $10,000.
Well, according to TikTok user 6679, you should probably put about a $10 million one on me, you, or Casey, because in the next 5 years, the rest of us could be millionaires.
But here's what I'm driving at. Like the insurance companies would hate this, and we need to talk to old buddy Kriego and find out what the skinny is.
Okay.
'Cause
Should
you
we really
talk-
be talking about this on the
Because
air?
you
then?
know the insurance companies kind of give him some of the kickback of what's going on.
Okay, well, we
there.
won't talk to him. We'll talk to a lawyer buddy. I know a lawyer. But just think about how pissed off insurance companies would be if all of a sudden they just started getting all these like low budget life insurance policies just flooding in everywhere. And then hey, couch guy, you know what? I tell you what, you get a life insurance policy on me. I'm going to get one on you. We'll just see what happens. Yeah, he's got the diabetes. He could keel over any time. Who knows?
Well,
I could die in a car wreck. I mean, and then like, oh,
I
man,
could be
that's a
struck
bummer.
by lightning on the way
Actually,
out the door.
I could take life insurance on both of you guys because you guys' death would affect the income potential of this with your permission, of course.
Yeah.
We ought to have life insurance policies on each other.
You think?
Yeah. I mean,
You
why
couldn't
not?
afford mine.
For a low one. Like, I don't need $1 million.
No.
If I had $1 million.
But I guess what I'm saying is why it just seems like I'm just going to put it out there. You just call and ask. I'll let you take a life insurance policy out on me. You know,
Yeah.
send some
Oh,
flowers.
yeah. Couch guy just said, like, it's motive.
Right. But if you get enough people with motive, that's not a bad place to be either.
I think the big thing about all of this plan is you're paying for what the age and the medical condition of the shape that person is in. So like your
but
option
in
for the
today's-
kids.
So really what we need to do
Well, hold on,
is
but-
go to the nursing home. Start
Well,
fishing.
so that was my
super
first
expensive.
start
thought.
fishing for Social Security
Super
numbers.
Because
expensive.
Say you got $5,000 in the bank and you just put it in a savings account. Right now, you're making 0.25% interest. You take that $5,000 and put on a low return life insurance policy on somebody with 3 years.
A
left to
roulette
go.
wheel of
Well, I'm
almost
serious.
dead
You
people.
find an old person, go to the home and say, "Hey, man, I'll be your friend and hang out with you once a month. What do you say? Let me just get a life insurance policy out on you, and you sign off on that. I'll pay for it, you know." And
You wouldn't make any money back on it.
I guarantee you would.
No. If you check those
you'd
premiums,
make more that you would make more than the fraction
of an interest if
you
depending
still
on
have
how
to
pay the premiums.
Yeah, but it's not.
Do you know what the premiums on?
So I asked for like a $4 million policy on me when I was talking to Kriego, and I think it was like $200 a month at my age. So I bet a $50,000 on an 85-year-old would be probably $900 to $1,200 a month,
Is this term or whole?
whichever one you don't get back. Like, which the one that's not an investment? I don't remember which one's which.
Term.
But if you know somebody's probably not got more than 10 years, it's easy to see how much money that you would make on that in a savings account.
But would that not make you a miserable person going around betting on people's death?
So according to
I guess I'm
Google-
not saying bet on it. I'm saying more make like a deal. Like find, hey, let's swap life insurance things here. Somebody's going to die.
So
Who's gonna
according to
live longer?
Google, you're looking at like for $100,000 policy
Yeah.
on somebody that's like a 25-year, like a 10-year policy term for $100,000 on a 35-year-old healthy male, which there's none of them in this room.
Sure.
10-year term,
Because we're all over 35.
because we're all over 35. $7.74 a month. 20-year, $8. 30-year, $13. 40-year, $19. Whole life is $82, and whole life. What's it
Look
say?
up a $20,000 on a 70-year-old diabetic.
That's super specific.
Well, I'm just saying, like, not a healthy person. Like, probably not knocking on the door of 100. And all I'm saying is, like, one is, I'll be able to leave something to my kids as much as they want to pay for. So then they don't have to feel like a leech. I don't have to feel like they're just taking all my shit. But preferably, like, I just think if people start doing this, sooner or later, it starts to put the screws back to the insurance company that's effing everybody anyway. Because everybody dies.
You want to see something get shut down faster than anything, you start messing with insurance companies.
And that's where all
those politicians.
People don't get pissed off unless they're doing something.
Our politicians can't agree where to have lunch, but you start messing with who pays them.
Wanderers, who wants to start trading up life insurance policies? We'll just go in a big pool. Everybody pitch in some money.
We're just going to a big pool and cost of life insurance at age 62, term calculator. There's all kinds of shit, Dave. I mean, there's all kinds of silly questions,
Well, okay, what if you do it a pool like a lottery? Everybody throws in $20 a month. You find somebody that's older, that's cool with it, and say, okay, thanks, Daryl, that you let us do this.
Hey, Leroy, really appreciate you, bud.
Yeah, we'll send some nice flowers to your old lady after you're gone. Everybody pitches in. You buy whatever you can afford every month, and then at the end, you just split the
10-year term for a 65-year-old man is $547 a month.
You get 10 people in there. Everybody throws in $50. He could live.
He lives
and then he lives.
And you know what? Good for you, buddy. Way to beat the odds.
You're the unicorn.
Well, where's that money go?
Lose it.
Down the shitter.
How many people spend $50 a month on scratchers?
Ooh, not me.
Well, I don't, but I knew a guy up there in Brazil. He'd probably spend $30 a day.
Oh yeah, I know. I can't count on both hands how many people I know that do that shit all the time.
Yeah. So instead of doing that, you just say, "Hey, we're going to pitch it all in on these term life insurance policies."
Now, do you have? Is this like private stuff that you don't talk about publicly, like life insurance?
Well, our buddy Kriego would probably appreciate that we're talking about life insurance.
Yeah.
Just probably not how to commit fraud.
Right. It's not fraud.
How do you figure?
We dipped our toes in fraud a little bit earlier when we're just sending 9 random numbers.
Well, that's not fraud either, unless you need
that wheel thing that we did our giveaway for, that old Todd Hayes won the thing for?
But if the person signs off on it and says, sure, man, I'll...
and our first number is 82.
I mean, they do it for voting for presidents. I don't see why it'd be a problem to do for picking life insurance.
And our second number is a 4.
Do you have life insurance outside of your employer?
No. I pay for extra life insurance with my employer.
Right.
But I got a theory on life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to leave too much to my wife and kids.
Oh, okay.
So if I die young,
if I die young, bury me inside her.
Anyway.
Lay me.
That ain't out of the way. I don't think that goes.
So I think it's like the maximum Social Security benefit's like $1,800 a month. You put that on top of what I get through work as for life insurance, they're doing better than what I bring home a month right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if I leave too much money, I'm going to have a bunch of world-class dick wagons trying to court my wife to move in for the money. And then I got some dick wagon.
Court my widow.
Your widow.
So then I got some dick wagon trying to shack up with my old lady, and then my kids are in there, and they got to put up with this world-class bag of dick.
I'll live with you, but I ain't calling you dad. I ain't calling you dad.
My plan is to leave enough to pay off the house so Jenna can... Like, I have no problem with her getting remarried. I just don't want it to be some cockbag that's pretending to be something he's not. Riding my Harley, riding my wife, playing pool on my goddamn pool table, yelling at my kids. So
that's a shame, bud. That's a tough spot.
The fact that you've played this out as far as you just did.
Well, I mean, consider...
Do you not plan for that kind of thing? You're just like, oh, f it all. Let's leave $12 million. She might get murdered, and they'll put the kids in a sack and throw them in the bottom of the river so they can take her money.
Oh, boy.
Wow, Dave.
Kill people for money, man. You don't want to leave too much because you're not going to be here to shoot a motherfucker when they start crossing lines.
True. I get that. Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to wind up in a tow sack underneath the river bridge, but... I mean, I want to get enough to square them away, though, right?
So you need to pay off the house, any other debt you have, get your big ass in the ground how you want it to be done. You need to leave the kids enough for college, and Social Security still exists. Now, we're not going to get it when we retire because the government everything up.
Exactly.
But
It'll
that
be
will-
gone. I'm a firm believer in
But
that
if
as
you
well.
die young, your kids will have it, and college will be covered. Shy of them wanting to be like a, 14 advanced degrees and some
space doctor.
of
they want to
space
be
basket weaving. Right?
rocket surgeon. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so they'll be covered for college. So you got to cover your debt. You got to leave your old lady enough money that she doesn't have to work herself to death through the grief.
yes.
She can take off, heal.
Now, I'm not
deal
sure
with
if
the
there'd be
kids.
much grief
There'd be more than you'd think.
on my end.
Your warden,
All that-
your warden may be needing money to hire an attorney.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
your warden would have more grief than even she probably knows.
You reckon?
Oh yeah, you guys have been attached at the hip for so long. That's why you're so bickery.
I don't know. There's times where I look at her where she could probably just take that pin that he's clicking and stab him in the throat.
But if he died without,
yeah,
but I don't think he could die against
Yeah.
her
If I
plan or
died,
wishes.
if I died without her doing so, it may tear her up a little bit, or at least having something to do with it.
yeah,
or
Yeah.
we could have new neighbors down on 1025 before you're even cold in the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've told Janelle.
well, now hold
I've
on.
told
It'd take a
Janelle-
lot longer for somebody of our masses to get cold. all the
That's
way.
true. I've told Janelle
Yeah.
if something ever happened to her, like I'm not
Unless
remarried.
I like fell in the deep freeze and the lid shut.
Yeah,
Then it'd go pretty quick.
yep.
Yeah, it would be. But no, I think Dave, that's an interesting thought.
Yep.
Not
so
in
remember,
on-
don't take too much life insurance.
Not in on committing fraud, but
It's not fraud. I think now the insurance company won't like it, but I think there's a gray area that the people of America should probably start trying to take advantage of because the insurance company's been taking advantage of you since you were born.
I could see this conversation trending on Twitter
Yeah.
for sure.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
So if I
Hashtag,
end up dead,
Hashtag
that
liberty.
means I'm right.
What is it,
and
Liberty
everybody
Mutual?
needs to
Liberty,
be buying
Liberty.
life insurance
Who's the big life insurance people?
policies. Mutual of Omaha.
Mutual. Liberty.
Penn,
Isn't
because there's that guy that talks about the 3 P's: price,
Penn's-
price, and price.
I'm thinking.
Penn Mutual.
I'm thinking about with Liberty Medical Testing Supplies.
You're
Check
talking
your
about the
sugar.
one that
I'm
Alex
Wilford
Trebek.
Brimley.
Alex Trebek did the pin one.
Check your sugar. Check it often.
You know, I saw a picture today of Paul Rudd at 56 versus Wilford Brimley at 56,
Yeah.
and it was ungodly.
Is that right?
Like Paul Rudd looks like a strapping young man still, and Wilford Brimley's all twisted up with his diabetes wear. And
Diabetes.
The old diabetes.
Diabetes.
good grief.
Hey, anyways, Dave, solid. Big Mase, solid. Let's head to a quick little pause
For the cause.
for the cause.
Wanderers, today's Pause for the Cause is brought to you by our friends at Southern Indiana Hardwoods. Southern Indiana Hardwoods is your exclusive provider of Green Mountain Grills in DuBois County. In the market for a new grill? Southern Indiana Hardwoods has you covered. Want to accessorize your new grill? Southern Indiana Hardwoods, they've got you covered. Just need pellets for your Green Mountain Grill. Well, again, Southern Indiana Hardwoods get you taken care of. Have an issue or need service on your Green Mountain Grill? Nick Merkley and Southern Indiana Hardwoods have you covered. Rejoice, for grilling season is upon us. Don't hesitate to call today and get the upgrade your patio or grilling setup needs. Nick Merkley with Southern Indiana Hardwoods is ready to get you grilling today.
And big
Here we
thank
go.
you
We.
to our friends over at Southern. Our friend, I say friends, but our
It's
friend.
friends. Okay.
Okay, friends at
We're
Southern
friends with
Indiana
all of them.
Hardwoods. Yeah, we are. We are. Thanks to Nick Merkley. Give him a call. Check out the new line. It is grilling season.
So, you know what that means.
What'd you grill?
I did the old. Now, see, I'm going to get roasted until they're going to say that I'm super fat, and people are going to tell me that I'm going to die in 5 years if I talk about. I'm going to not be able to talk about food on the show anymore.
No, go ahead.
Talk about
Tom.
whatever you want. They can go right the off.
Hey, yay! I did one of them whole bologna chubs.
Oh, hell yeah.
Have you seen those?
Good grief, I do love bologna.
Yeah. You've seen the. God dang it. Bubbles from the Trailer Park Boys when he's got them little hands on his fingers. Bologna, bologna, I love you. You put it in the skillet. And you know that whole deal? It's freaking hilarious. Have you seen that? Yeah, yes.
Those helicopter suckers.
Yeah. Decent. So then I took, so you get a 5-pound bologna roll, like a big chub.
Where'd you get it from?
Store.
Well, it was not Merkley's because I don't need to taint Merkley's bologna. So I bought a shitty roll of Bar S.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, for $10. It was this 5-pound log of bologna for $10. It's super cheap eating.
Imitation bologna.
Yeah, peckers and eyelids. And then you
Good
score
for you.
You score it.
Both directions, I believe.
Yeah,
Make
mustard
little
binder
squares.
and then barbecue rub. 225 till you get to like 145, 150 internal. Pull it, slice it, gold. Then if you want, you can fry it.
With an egg and cheese.
Yeah. So I just
Oh,
then
hell
I,
yeah, a little bit of lettuce, tomato.
I put it on
Mayonnaise.
a skillet.
It's a BLT still. It's just bologna instead
Yeah,
of bacon.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, I did that lately on my smoker, and it turned out pretty good. Yeah.
God,
Nice.
I love bologna.
We did, so for now, I self-admitted, hand up, I'll take responsibility for this.
What the hell?
I do not own a Green Mountain Grill
Yet.
yet. But I do use Green Mountain Grill pellets because they're top notch. They have a good variety.
Locally made.
Locally
You know, I
made.
had a couple bags left out here, and then old Big Mase says, "Hey, is there any more of them bags?"
I
there?
have
was like,
been-
"Yeah, I got a bag out there."
I've been blowing
Now I've
through 'em.
got one bag.
I've been blowing
Yeah.
through them. We need it. Hey, hey, Nick, we need another shipment.
But I took a Merkley pit ham
Oh, yeah.
and I smoked it for Easter,
Oh, yeah.
and it turned out great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you 225, let it smoke,
Let it roll, baby.
get to about 150 internal temp.
I think next year I'm going to try to
Delicious.
cure a ham when I do my bacon. That bacon turned out just.
Yeah. Choice.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Hey, but before we jump into the next segment, which includes Dear Dutchman segment.
I was hoping you'd catch that.
Oh, I caught it.
Segment.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
This segment is brought to you by Catering by Meyer.
This segment is brought to you by Catering by Meyer. It's April, and that means graduation is right around the corner. Don't have a meal plan yet? Don't panic. The folks at Catering by Meyer are ready to assist you today. From the classics to something new, Catering by Meyer can build out a menu that passes with flying colors. Give them a call today and leave the rest to them.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Appreciate them.
Hey, here's today's Dear Dutchman. Basketball is king in Indiana, but also football and baseball follow. Do you have any thoughts on how parents might consider which sports are right for their kids, i.e., looking at the size, strength, money, and time investment, so on?
Good.
Money and time investment, so on. From weighing the cost.
I am a firm believer in letting your children pick whichever sports they want to try and let them be the ones to make the decision. Because when I say that, I have a son that is a monster, and he plays football, basketball, baseball, soccer, track. Now he's a thrower. He doesn't run.
Yeah, you didn't have to explain that part.
And it's like, and then he used to wrestle. And like the story I always say is like he finished 4th at Indiana State Folk Style State Championships at Warren Central High School, and as a 3rd grader, I think he was, or a 4th grader, he finished 4th up there. The next season, when wrestling sign up come around, I was like, hey, we're going to get you in the books, get you signed up for wrestling. He's like, no, I think I want to play basketball this year.
Hardwood Mace.
And I said, what? And it was tough for me because I was like, Max, you have pretty decent success, at wrestling. Why, and he's like, well, I just want to try something different. And then like for me, I was like, okay, we're gonna play basketball.
Gonna
Yeah,
lace
but
up
you're
the
not-
sneaks.
But you're not you weren't attached to wrestling.
No, I mean, I'm not.
If Max came to you and said, "Dad, I'm quitting football,"
Yes.
that's the one thing where you'd be like,
I'm going to really fight him.
Yeah.
Like I'm really going to fight him. But like if he said, hey, I want to quit football and go like learn how to be a ballerina, then I'm going to chain him to the wall of the basement and he's never going to see the light of day again. I mean, I'm just going to say that.
"Well, Dave's committing fraud, you're committing crimes, just freaking come on over, couch guy."
But no, that's a total joke. But I'm just saying, like I'm going to support him. I got to draw a line somewhere, but I should be there. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess weighing the options, weighing the cost. I don't give a shit what it costs
Oh, I definitely give a shit what it costs.
to play. Yeah, like yeah, like we're not doing the travel baseball
Yep.
shit. We're not doing the travel softball shit. We're not going to pay $16,000 in hotel rooms to go to
Little League bowl game.
Yeah, little league ball games in Alabama and all that stuff, which I know we've had these huge conversations like off air before about it. And like I know somewhat of your opinion on that whole world.
Yeah.
But I am 100% a believer in, and I know this may ruffle some feathers, but I don't care. And because we're experiencing this firsthand in our city, in our town, where our kids play baseball. But I am a firm believer that you need rec league, like the recreational baseball league needs to be in your life because number one, it doesn't matter how good your kid is or how good they think they are. Nobody's getting scholarships at 4th, 5th grade.
No.
It doesn't mean two shits what your kid's doing and how much you're paying for your kid. Now, are they going to get higher? Are they going to get more experience coaching? You would hope for how much you're paying.
No, I would argue you probably.
You know what I mean?
I would argue you could get worse coaching going to the travel ball scene.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, think of all the times think of all the shit they're going to miss out on with their buddies. You know what I mean? Like, it just that was some of like as me now looking back as a, not a professional baseball player, like I had so much fun in the summers, playing rec league, playing pony league, when we, then obviously my baseball career ended a lot sooner than my dad, i.e. thought it was going to last, cause I just didn't want to play anymore. And it was it is what it is. But like the whole weighing the cost for travel leagues is, I cannot believe some of the shit that these people do, which I did it for 3 years with my daughter.
Now, if I only had one kid, see, that's the problem. I can't justify the oldest, like he would probably do okay in a travel ball type of thing.
No, he totally would.
He's a good player. All the boys are good players, but say the middle boy decides, I like sports. I want to play school, but I don't really care to do that.
Yeah.
So now I've spent X amount of gajillions of dollars on the first one.
Yeah.
So what do you do for the second? Because I feel like you need to be somewhat ponied up and even with them there.
Yeah.
And at least give opportunities for stuff. So that's
where we were looking at. We were looking at two kids playing travel sports because they're both the same age.
Yeah.
So it's like we're going to play travel baseball over here, and then we're going to play travel softball over here.
Yeah, and different genders, so they're not going to. You can't say, "Hey, stick them on the same team."
Well, yeah,
so we got
travel
the same
softball,
schedule.
travel baseball, and then we got that other one that's a pretty good ball player as well. That's trying to get recruited to play on a 6 or 8U team. That's traveling, and I'm like, how? How can you do that?
You can't,
and it's not fair to the one child or the second child because you can't be two places at once, literally.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then you don't take vacations with the rest of the family because your vacations are the travel.
You're stuck at hey, if that's what you want to do,
more power to you.
Yeah,
sure.
If
that's
you
just not the boat I'm paddling.
Yeah, that's not the canoe that we're not in that creek. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like that's where it's easy for me. Now I should say, like we did the baseball lessons and we did some softball lessons over the wintertime, and it's like people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you're spending money on that. I would spend money on lessons 10 times over before I spent
that's one-on-one time.
the $500 for them to be part of this softball team or baseball team that they may not get a play. You know what I mean? Tough spot.
No, I mean, it's not. I think
It's easy.
the biggest problem when you start looking at like your
That's
kids,
easy.
like your kids for sport wise, I think it's tough to say like, oh, that kid, he's super tall. You're like, he needs to play basketball, because I think you see 6'5", 6'6" shortstops playing baseball.
Yep.
We got one from Holland, Indiana, that's in that boat.
Yeah.
But I think the thing about it, when you look at those skills to play, I think playing rec league and playing those sports where you have a low overhead and initial cost into them,
Right.
are glorious.
Yeah, they're
go
way more
play
I feel like that's
soccer.
not baseball.
It's not. Go play soccer.
Yeah, you and Curtis, you
go-
were talking about that tonight.
Yep.
The cost of a ball bat and the cost of a Wilson A10S. And,
$9 a ball.
yeah, that's
Well,
insane.
but the bad thing of it is what everybody is funding is everything that goes to these college programs.
yeah,
These schools that are sponsored. It's an insane amount of money. But I think for the Dear Dutchman purposes, I think let your kids play everything,
yes,
and then before you commit, like I really want Zoe to play golf,
yeah,
but we haven't bought her a set of clubs.
no,
We've done the first tee program with our buddy Teddy Hoops, and she loved it, and I'm sure Zoe will do it again this year.
right,
But we kind of jumped into the softball thing, and we, ponied up to get bat and helmet and different glove. Need a little bit bigger glove, and you spent $300, and you're like, what did we buy?
oh yeah,
And it's just it's insane. And you see these kids, some of these kids that play for me that 2 or 3 different bats, the fancy gloves,
Yeah.
all this other stuff.
$500. What's they always say? A $500 ball bat ain't going to fix a $25 swing.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Well,
Like that whole thing, and that's
but,
true.
I mean, to your point about your children, I've told you what you need to do for Max.
yeah,
Max don't need to play anything but work on that body of his.
yeah,
Because if he wants to have a shot to be a great athlete, he needs to work on the plyos and the skips and the jumps and some of that stuff. But
yeah. No,
I don't know. I guess I feel like I'll let the kids try anything, but once they sign up for it, they got to finish the season. I'm a big
100%.
stickler
Yeah, we
on
don't
that.
quit. No.
It's me being that I enjoy watching my kids play sports no matter what it is they're playing, I
Right.
think, because I'm not really attached to any of them. But I do draw the line.
your kids are sports.
What now?
You're not attached to any of them.
Oh,
Even
sport. Like I don't
yes.
have like a favorite
Right.
sport or whatever, like you in football or this guy in baseball.
Right.
But I do draw the line. I understand that seasons will overlap and that's stressful enough, but I
Yes.
can't support one kid playing multiple sports in the same season.
Right.
Like that blows my mind how folks make all that.
Yeah, like that's what we're doing right now with track and baseball.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I can't. I've told the boys no, one or the other. It's
Yeah.
gotta be one or the other.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot.
It is a tough spot. Youth sports in general has been the
Become a moneymaker.
yeah, and it's also become the cause and reason for much stress and anxiety, which I believe is stupid.
I would agree. Hey, it's time for the Merkley & Sons Choice Cut Questions of the Week, brought to you by Merkley & Sons. Let's hear from our buddies, Bradley and John Boy, now.
Welcome to the Merkley & Sons Choice Cuts Question of the Week for the fellas. Sponsored by Merkley & Sons, the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts. I want to make a major announcement. The Raider Middle School baseball program exclusively sells Merkley dogs and hamburgers out of their little concession shack. If you visit your local concession stand and you don't see any Merkley packaging, you're paying for a subpar product. Demand the best.
All right. Hey, today's Dear Dutchman come from somebody that used to live or lives just down the road, kind of in our running stable a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Not our main thoroughbred,
Right.
Chase Bland, but sidekick, and we hung out with him in Carmel, Tyler Nelson.
Oh yeah, fellow Dutchman runner.
Yeah, fellow Dutchman.
Right
runner.
down the way here.
Our buddy Tyler sent in some questions. What is something that everybody looks stupid doing?
I feel like there's a bunch of things.
Eating hot wings. There's another hot wing reference. I think everybody looks stupid when they eat hot wings. Because everybody has their own method, and sometimes it's just I think that's me.
Cylindrical foods.
Oh yeah, dick-shaped foods.
Yeah.
Wiping your ass.
I've not watched anybody else wipe their ass.
Well, I mean, I've not either, but
Then how? can
Maybe
that
it's
be
just
in
you that looks stupid wiping your ass.
everybody look. You don't think you would trying to
I think I look majestic as
it? I don't. It's a.
exactly?
Train
Looks
wreck.
like you're trying to fight something.
Mhm.
What's your favorite thing you do in your spare time that is embarrassing?
Oh boy, I don't think I can talk about it. Really. Good grief.
the old five knuckle shuffle.
Yeah. Choking the chicken. Flogging the bishop. No, So, like, I don't really like. What do you do in your spare time that's embarrassing to let people know about? I don't know. Put my CPAP on to take a nap, like in the middle of the day. That's pretty embarrassing. Like just to be able to take a snoozer, but turns out I got to strap up.
Since I always mix this up. Am I on the wagon?
Yeah, you're not drinking.
Okay. Since I've been on the wagon, this doesn't happen. But I feel like something that I should be embarrassed about, maybe not embarrassing in the sense he probably means it, is I really have zero problems with just getting shit bombed by myself in the shop singing karaoke. Like nobody around. Just you'd think there was a huge party if you were outside, but it's just me in here with my favorite heroes on the radio, and I'm just karaokeing away.
I love those days when you used to get Snapchats at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and David just like completely by himself, ripped ass drunk, just singing, taking requests. Yeah.
Favorite thing you do in your spare time that is embarrassing? You know, I vacuum the house a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily embarrassing, but some might not predict that.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
I'll make a great housewife someday.
What's the weirdest smell you have ever smelled?
Oh, probably that. What's the weirdest smell that I've ever smelled? Oh, boy. I don't know. I'll tell you that I don't know if it's about this. I don't know if it's the weirdest smell, but probably one of the rankest smells that I've ever smelled was like the one that jumps out at me that probably like 9 times out of 10, if you can't handle it, you'll find out real quick if you can or can't. And it's like the hot smell of
freshly killed critter.
Yes, like the entrails of a freshly killed ant, like a deer.
I
like
was just talking to somebody
the
about
gut,
that
like either a busted gut bag or just like when even if you don't bust the gut bag and you're raking it out,
it's like the thickness of the smell.
Yeah,
like you got to chew it. You
yeah,
gotta
smell.
chew it, and that makes me want to barf.
Yeah,
I gag.
That yours as well?
No, mine's probably more recent. So I sprayed some stove glass cleaner as I was starting the imaginary fire today, and sprayed it on there, cleaned the windows of the imaginary fireplace. And then I came out here, and like it's been a long day at work, and I started getting all these messages from work. Like at force, I'm like, oh, I better look into this. So I fire up the old computer, and I'm out here, and I'm like, man, that is a weird kind of sweet but not right smell. But it was sweet smelling, but something wasn't right.
Those
About
are usually
15 minutes in, like I started getting real foggy and feeling real nauseous, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I grabbed the bottle, and it says never spray it. It's like hydrocarbon sulfide or something like that, and it says do not spray on hot surfaces and noxious fumes. So I think I might have darn near off myself. Somebody should have had the life insurance policy on me. It got real close. But I think that's probably it, just because it's recent, like 6 hours ago.
Hey, when dogs in their paws, like I never realized how
like fingernails of dogs.
How much like veterinarians like trust smell to do their diagnostics. But like Janelle, like with like the dog's ears and like so like I've gotten to know what some of those smells are, but when the dogs have like a kind of like a ear funk going on and you smell it and it's just off.
That's disgusting. Next question.
Yeah. What if you can display one sentence in the sky for everyone to see, what would it say? If you could display one sentence in the sky for everyone to see, what would you say?
What?
So like you have a banner or a cloud
The days
ready.
I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, I have very good days.
That would be the sentence that you would list.
Yeah, I was gonna go like a lot simpler and just say subscribe to the Wondering Dutchman on YouTube. But Dave, that's cool too.
Grab her by the pussy.
Oh,
There
you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do you say? I don't know.
Subscribe
Probably
to the
not grab
Wondering
her by the
Dutchman on
pussy.
YouTube. That'll really go for our female fans.
Yeah. Locker room
if,
talk.
If you could
Piece of
choose an
shit.
animal as a battle companion,
Oh,
which one would it be?
David, I already know what she
That's what he said. He goes, we all know what Smoker's pick would be.
As a battle companion, I'm probably going to go for a fire-breathing dragon.
The old turtle.
Yeah, knew that.
I don't know what I was watching the other day, but it was like about lions and tigers.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if
Ghost in the dark.
if I could have one of those like predator cats like that on my side,
Predator cat.
I think you would tear up a lot of shit.
Have you seen the new movie Damsel
No.
I saw it on there
with
but I
the
haven't watched
dragons?
it.
Oh,
I like
change
dragon
your minds
movies.
about it.
What is the weirdest thing a guest has done in your house?
Sniffed my curtains. Hands down, and he'll know exactly who I'm talking about. He sniffed my curtains. We were having some people over before we headed out to the bars in my old house. And I had said, I walked into the one room where everybody was kind of congregating, and I was like, God, what's that smell? Like something smells kind of weird. And he's like, it's probably these curtains. And I'm like, what did you say? And he's like, the curtains, they stink. And I'm like, are you sniffing my curtains? And he was like, well, I was
You
just
filthy drape sniffer.
I was just trying to look out the window, and I got a real big whiff of these curtains. But yeah, that's it, my curtains.
The weirdest thing somebody's ever done in my house.
A guest.
A guest. You know, I don't know that I got anything super interesting. I think if it's that weird, I probably never found out about it. I'm sure it's happened. But
I've clogged your shitter before.
yeah, but I don't think that's weird. Lots of people clog shitters.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Price of doing cost of doing battle.
I guess one time we had a bunch of people over here. Jenna was so pissed off at me. But this young woman, college gal, was doing like an internship for the DNR at Patoka. And it's dark in the summertime. And she freaking smoked a deer, just shit crashed it right out here. So she limped her little Subaru into the driveway. So I went down to see why there was a Subaru in my driveway. And I was pretty well liquored up, you know. I was,
Shocker.
yeah. So I was like, well, hey, just, you know, call the sheriff. Here's the address. And the deer was over there, just a belly aching. So I guess I actually dialed it forward, told him where we were at. And I said, well, hey, this thing's over here hooping and hollering. I was like, you want me to go shoot it? And no is the answer.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So it just sat over there, just a whooping and hollering. And she was kind of upset about that. And I was like, well, hey, we was just fixing to sit down here and have dinner if you don't want to come in and have some chili. And like, she didn't know me from Adam. She didn't know who we were.
Right.
Like, it was just me in the dark in my driveway offering to shoot a deer to the sheriff's department that I dialed for her, that she never checked the phone number.
right.
And she's like, yeah, sure. So she
No.
comes on in the house. She gets a bowl of chili. Jenna's looking at me like I lost my mind. And like, I mean, I was just being cordial, but I wasn't going to like. So she came in, she got a bowl of chili, asked where the bathroom was, went and used the bathroom. And she was like, well, I guess they're probably going to be coming soon. I was like, yeah, that's, you know, whatever. She's like, you got anything to drink? And I'm like, sure. So we set her up with a drink, and she went out and took care of the rest of what she had to do. But
Wow.
like, such a trusting person. I'm like, oh,
I
man.
guess.
Yeah, so,
Could have been murdered.
yeah. But
What
yeah.
do you got?
I can't say that
Yeah.
I have had too much. Probably back in law school, in the house we lived at, we threw a few parties, and I think there was probably some vomiting that occurred in like house plants. You
Oh
know,
yeah, you could always
stuff
tell
like
where
that.
I'd
You
been.
remember when
I was a territorial barfer.
oh so and so shit in that plant on the skywalk down in Evansville? We had a buddy that we were going from, let's just say, one location to another location that was connected via skywalk across the street.
It's
And
got to be the casino and the hotel.
well, I never said that,
Oh.
but there was some plants like that were strategically decorated the skywalk, and maybe or may not. Allegedly, a guy we knew shit in one of them one time.
Good grief.
Yep, that'll happen.
Aren't those artificial plants?
Oh yeah, it was fake as shit, literally.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
not going to do them any good.
No,
No.
Yeah.
Hey, here we go.
good one.
Wednesday, April 10th has come to a conclusion. Well, I mean, depending on when you've listened to this. Recording for Wednesday, April 10th has come to a conclusion. How about that, Dave?
Yeah, that works.
That's better. So, hey, we can't finish it without going around the table one more time. And we shall do that now with the Hopf Outdoor Power Last Pass.
The Last Pass is proudly brought to you by our friends at Hopf Outdoor Power. It's that time of year. Our friends at Hopf Outdoor Power want to remind you that when you are mowing this season, do it responsibly. Yes, mow responsibly, please. Hopf Outdoor Power has new grass cutting machinery and parts to help you fix what you got. If it's time for an upgrade, don't wait, because them fellers know how to sell.
Okay, big fella, we got.
Peace, love, and positivity. This comes out Wednesday, so buckle up for the old Eclipse-a-thon, I guess we would say.
It already happened.
Is
We
that
hope
right?
you were buckled up.
Yeah, we hope you were buckled up
2
for
days
that, and I
ago.
hope you liked it.
Hope you had fun.
Yeah, this new format's kind of got me thrown for a loop here. But anyway, yeah, peace,
With the
love, and
old format, it
positivity,
would've been
and
5 days after.
I'm done. What you got, Dave?
Tough one for me to remember and grasp a hold of sometimes, so I've been trying to keep it fresh. But it occurs to me that arrogance and wisdom cannot coexist. So I think that's just a good thing for folks to keep in the back.
You don't think somebody could be arrogant and be smart?
I didn't say smart, I said wisdom.
I mean, it'd be depending on how you're defining wisdom.
Well, you could do it either the right way or whatever you're thinking.
I think you could be arrogant and have wisdom.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think you could. Easily.
I think you're making the point that David's trying to make even more clear as we speak.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know.
You're telling me that somebody that has wisdom can't be arrogant.
Yes.
I think you're wrong on that.
Okay.
Exactly.
I got nothing. So with that, Dutchman out.